This is ACOFAE. Laura Marie and Jessica Marie proudly present A Court of Fandoms and Exploration, a podcast. Fair warning, everything the hosts say is explicit, full of spoilers and adult content and shall not be used against them. They have opinions. Let's try not to drag anyone for expressing themselves and just have fun for an hour. We all deserve it.
This episode contains spoilers from the Hunger Games series, including Catching Fire and the Hunger Games, as well as ACOTAR Book 1. For full list, please see show notes.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to A Court of Fandoms and Exploration, your weekly deep dive into the fantasy, literature, and fandoms that we love. I'm Laura Marie.
And I'm Jessica Marie.
And today we are discussing Catching Fire, the movie.
Based off the book by Suzanne Collins, Catching Fire from the Hunger Games. I was going to say trilogy, but now we have prequels, and we have prequels that we had put out there into the universe for the free idea that we mentioned in our Hunger Games episode. So with Haymitch, our Haymitch sequel, we're finally getting. So what a way to manifest.
What a way to manifest. I said to you that the Amazon, we watched this both on Amazon, the Amazon pop-up trivia, Jess, you said, is the best thing that we're ever going to get to pop-up video, because this is a cold open movie, and I did not realize that this was a cold open movie until Amazon told me. What I did realize, though, is that this movie has Liam in it. He's in it right away. Like, it's just not...
He's there.
He's there.
He's there.
It's a beautiful, North Carolina scenery. Katniss is there doing her thing. He interrupts her piece. Let's call it what it is. He interrupts her piece, and he's there. He's there. His jaw is flexing and flickering. He's brooding and mad.
Such is the life of Gale.
Such is the life of Gale.
You know what? I would be brooding and mad if I dropped the ball and fuck things up with Miley Cyrus too.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Let's never forget. It was, I think it was this movie. I think, correct us if we're wrong. I think it
Miley
was
House.
This. Yeah, we're a team Miley House. And, all right, Liam. All right. Okay. Moving on. Jennifer Lawrence. I should say up front that it takes me a while to warm up to Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence has to be on screen for a little while before I'm like, okay, I believe you. I don't know what it is. I don't know. She doesn't sell it for me until she's worked it a little bit. To be fair, there are a lot of fantastic actors in this movie. Jess, do you have a cast?
Oh, you want me to break down the cast? I actually was just I pulled together our characters because I feel like there's a lot of returning characters, and then we have some new friends. Katniss is back, obviously. Gale, blah, Peeta, Effie,
Short
Haymitch. We love Haymitch. Cinna. Oh my God. That man doesn't age. I just saw him at the VMAs performing, and I was like, damn you. You're still so hot. It's ridiculous and not aging. I love Cinna. We love Lenny. But we have Sam Claflin. I've seen it spelled both ways. But he's Finnick, who I adore. So attractive, underutilized, all the lines, please. And he's what does Haymitch say? He's he's a peacock. And then he's a peacock with a heart of gold.
Finnick, please talk in your natural accent. Please, your American accent is atrocious. Please talk in your beautiful British accent. Just one day, please.
Yeah, I also didn't realize how many things that he's in that we've seen. When I was looking up his IMDb, I was like, oh my gosh, wait, he's the guy in Me Before You, which if you're an emotional person, even if you're not an emotional person, that movie is rough. Like, especially if you're going into it with no trigger warnings. Thought it was a good idea to watch that on the flight. Wrong. That's a dangerous one. That's a dangerous one, folks. That's a dangerous one. Have you mentioned Queen Elizabeth Banks? Oh, I said Effie. Yeah. Effie. Which you see her. This is what's nice. You see it crack a little bit in the first one. You see her shell crack here completely for these characters, especially at the beginning of the movie, because essentially the plot is we're back. Hunger Games 3.0, because we're in the third quarter quell, which is where every 25 years, any remaining survivors of the Hunger Games, they're put into a bowl raffle of sorts for their district to say like, hey, you're up again, by the way. So if you haven't gotten over your trauma, we're going to double, triple down on it. So everybody's back. And the thing is, Haymitch even tells Peeta and Katniss, you're the newbies. You won last year. Everybody else has already formed this trauma bond of sorts of the shared commisery that they've all had to go through. You haven't bonded with anybody yet. So you're the outliers. You're the ones who are going to need to make the effort. And they still said, fuck that.
Well, yeah, Katniss isn't great at making friends, right? Because she's got one, and it's Gale. Okay.
I have a question about that, because we've talked about trauma bonding a lot on this podcast for different books and different relationships. And it was this movie. Is it because they're not trauma bonded? Maybe trauma bonded in the sense of they grew up in District 12 together. They have that background. But is it the bond of familiarity that keeps the pull together? Because they don't have chemistry.
Okay, this is an excellent question. It goes to what Peeta says when they are in the train, where Peeta's like, if you stop looking at me like I'm wounded, then maybe I can stop acting like it, and maybe we have a shot at friendship. And Katniss is like, I don't have a lot of friends. And he was like, well, you have to try, bitch. Come on. And then he's like, but I don't know anything about you except you're stubborn and you know how to use a bow. What else is there? And she's like, there's nothing else. There's nothing else.
No. And she's been, and I think we talked about this in our first Hunger Games episode, is she's in survivor mode all the time. Friends are weaknesses, which we also know from one of our new victors, Joanna. She's like, what do you have on me? I got nothing. I got no one. I love no one. Who are they going to? That's why the Jabberjays aren't coming to me. And I feel like he even says, he as in Peeta, he's like, you're the one who has people you care for. It's just me.
But this goes to the definition of what is company and what is a companion. Because I do feel like Gale and Peeta at this point in time fill those different roles. Because Peeta is like a companion. He's the one that travels with her. He's the one that goes, and does the things. Gale, throughout all of her life, was company, doing the same things as her in tandem, right? They're going out to the woods together. They're going out, that's what they're doing. They're company for each other. They're the familiarity. And then Peeta is the companion.
And there's the physical component too, right? And I feel like we talk about this, this with ACOTAR when Feyre's giving her backstory. She's like, yeah, I slept with this guy, but he was there. He was just there. That's what he is. That is what Gale is. He's just a guy around her age who happens to be there and understands the shitty lived experience that they're both going through together.
And gets angry and violent later. As they do. Okay, we're talking about this opening a lot. Let's just go right into it. Gale is pissed off and bitter because he has to work 6 days in the mine, and he is not allowed to hunt a lot anymore just because of the way that things have been really amped up in the production. And he's like, you know, these turkeys, like I can't shoot them, whatever. Katniss has a panic attack here when she shoots the birds. And then it's like, okay, no, I'm fine. The tour's in a few hours. We need to leave. And then here's the thing. After witnessing Katniss have this full out panic attack, Gail's like, no, I'm not going to go to the train and see you off. You have too many people that love you there. I'm just like, you are the worst.
He is the worst. The absolute worst, because I don't remember, like I loosely remember reading, like I read the book, but I don't remember details, which is why viewing this was so enjoyable. And then I saw this movie through a bootleg website. So I didn't even see this at the theater. And I just, rewatching this, it felt very fresh, but there were certain things I'm like, oh yeah, that's that thing. Oh yeah, this happened. But this time around, I was just like, Peeta is a good man. He's a good man, Savannah. And he's so kind. And he's just good. Like, he's there for her. He is the companion, and he's making the effort despite how shitty she treats him, which is like right out the gate too. Haymitch is like, you can live 100 lifetimes and still not. Yeah. Again, I acknowledge she has trauma. Everybody has trauma. We're in Pan Am, but like, Peeta is still good through all of the trauma. Little dumb sometimes, but good.
And still there too, because like he's there with Haymitch, he's there with the bread. You know, Katniss is there with the water, waking up Haymitch, and here's Peeta with the bread. Like, you know, do you want some bread, Katniss? No, thank you. I already ate at the Hob. And Haymitch is like, yo, showtime, everybody. Like, what is this? And I think that's a good reminder of like what this story actually is. And it's the story about like trying to subdue a brimming population on the verge of revolution by like any means, but like having what is it? What does Plutarch say? Moves and counter moves. I mean, that's this whole thing. And I just like Katniss is the most reluctant figurehead like ever. And like, I get it. Like, I get it. Especially in this movie, you can really see where it's just like, whoa, really? Yeah. But all of this like slow build to where like she's on the cameras, you know, with Peeta, they're falling in the snow. They're trying to sell it. Stanley Tucci is ha-ha-ha-ing at me. And it's just, it's a reminder that even when Effie says like, you know, we have to feed the monster, like that's what all of this is.
Yeah. And I mean, it's never going to pan out any other way, because Haymitch even says, he goes, y'all are acting like this is done when we're done with our Victor press tour. He's like, every year there's a Hunger Games. Every year you're going to be brought back. You're in this for the long haul. So you're going to need to figure your shit out. However that dynamic is, whatever that means, this is long term. I'm here right now because I survived, and I'm trying to mentor you two. And nobody wants to listen to me, but I'm telling you how it is. You're their entertainment, and they're watching you the entire time. And they know this too. Like right out the gate, like you said, Katniss knows this because Snow is waiting for her, which I loved where the parents are like, where she was like, hey, how is it? Like, we have company. It was like that TikTok trend when they were like, hey, how are you doing? Says mom is in the car. Like, don't say anything uncensored.
Well, and of course, Donald Sutherland, R.I.P., giving just such a performance every time he is on screen. I really like this, where he's like, Katniss, let's not lie to each other. Let's not do this. And she's like, yeah, let's not do that. I like it.
And calling her out on her shit too, saying like, I don't care if everybody else is going to believe it. People are dumb. Make me believe it. Because I have eyes, like birds aren't real. I have eyes everywhere.
Yep. Convince me, because I don't believe it. He was like, do you want to be in a real war? And she's like, no, I do not. He's like, I don't either. Let's work together, sell what we're selling, and calm everything down. And Katniss is like, yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Mistake number 1, not telling any of her team that this meeting happened, but she does immediately tell them after. Like in the
after
dome.
the first events.
Yeah. In the dome, she's just like, yeah, no, this happened. I'm sorry. This happened. And I do appreciate that.
Yeah, she didn't drag it on because
not at all.
Because I think she was probably also in an understanding that her and Snow were in, I don't want to say an understanding, but she probably, I mean, she's young. She hasn't run a country. There's fear tactics. There's fear going on with Snow. And she's like, yeah, whatever. If that's going to placate, I didn't think it was going to turn into this thing.
Yep.
Truthfully, she probably didn't. And he sees it. He, as in Snow, sees her impact through his granddaughter.
Yeah.
When did you start wearing your hair like that? And it wasn't just I saw it. It was, everybody at school's doing it. So Snow is like, okay. She's getting to the girls. She's getting to the kids. This is a bigger thing. It's not my granddaughter. You have little girls coming up to her. I want to be you when I grow up. On this press tour, and then even his granddaughter again. I hope I could find love like this. Meanwhile, it's so weird watching this after seeing Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes last year this time.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh my God, Snow. I was like, there's a lot of things. We all love a morally gray villain. We love that. Not even a villain, character. He's not a morally gray character. And I think we need to remember that.
For real. It's wild too. Because he has this like hollow of Katniss and Gale kissing, and he's like, yo, I'm just going to kill everybody. Like, do this or everybody dies. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's just what's going to happen. You're either in or you're not. And Katniss is like, all right, I'm in. And then she goes, and then we're in book 2, movie 2. We're traveling to District 11. Just as you say, this is where we have our heavily guarded, the military presence is really big here. This is where Thresh and Rue were. This is where Peeta is like, yeah, take like our money kind of forever. The old man gives the salute and he's killed. And just as you said, you'll never get off this train. Smile, read the cards, and shut up. Rush to the top of the building, and Katniss confesses everything about Snow. And everyone's just like, you just should have told us. Like, Peeta's like, why didn't you tell me? I just tried to give him all this money.
He's like, yeah, I wouldn't have done all of these things. Done this. Like, and everybody's like, he's speaking to the people. That's what you want. You want to pander to the people, but not at the expense of people's lives. And they didn't realize that. And again, I love Peeta. I really do appreciate him in this movie. Aside from him constantly I was like, oh my God, you got electrocuted. Now you got the poison. Now you can't walk. Okay, we get it. You're terrible right now. You're not of athletic background. You are a baker. But he was like he was like, I know Rue is your friend. I will speak for the both of us, and him putting the cards down, and Effie's like freaking out about not staying on talking points on this media tour. And then as they're going through the districts, doing the tour, reading the talking points, reading off the cards, they're like, oh, you sound like drones reading off the cards. Well, am I staying to the point? I'm doing exactly what you told me. Yep. I wasn't going to sell it. Like, what you pick your lane. I'm going, and people know because people saw the difference because everything's televised between District 11 and there was the mother in the crowd. She goes, tell us how you really feel. We know this is censored bullshit. As if we're all not living under a regime that is terrified. Katniss having night terrors. Peeta, I have them too. Katniss, stay with me.
Stay with me
always.
Stay with me always. Peeta, again, you're too good for Katniss at this point. Cause damn. Yeah. I like his reaction. He has a good reaction to, well, we could get married before the presidential palace party when Katniss is just throwing it out there. And he's like,
why not?
Why not?
I at that point, he was like, you knew he's like, that's not how I wanted to get engaged or like be
Any
with the
of this,
person I love.
yeah,
But like, if that's gonna help us along, because everything that's being said is not wrong.
Yep.
I'm going to be with her. This is going to be a regular thing. We're going to have to do this every year. Even if I found somebody I loved, it could be like an agreement between us two, but we might as well show a united front when it comes to this.
Eyes bright, chins up, smiles on. I just love Effie. She's just so great as we're in the presidential palace party. This whole thing is just really, I remember this from when I saw it the first time. I was like, are they going to do the like throw up drinks? And they did. I was like, oh, okay. It's all here. Attitude. We love it. The library, all mahogany. You know, I lost my shit there. I love it. I love a callback. It's so good. It's so good. But this is where we meet Plutarch, and this is where Plutarch cuts in. Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's the new game maker. I volunteered, you know, ambition.
Because
meaning.
Seneca's decided to quit breathing.
It was either that or poison berries, you know, Seneca Crane. Worth noting, Philip Seymour Hoffman, deeply in the throes of his heroin addiction at the time. You can see it. You can see it in the filming a bit. It's just, he's just very you can see it if you're looking for it. It is upsetting. However, Philip Seymour Hoffman, beloved, lovely, gorgeous, fantastic, wonderful man. Really, I think underutilized here a little bit. I feel like Plutarch could have had a bit more energy here, but again, we see what we're working with, and what we have is what we have. So thank you, Philip, for this performance and this little dance, this little introduction dance that we have.
Well, and I think by the end of the movie, you kind of take him as the person out of it. By the end of the movie, it makes sense why he approaches everything the way that he did, in the confines that he did, in the safety that he did, knowing where he was in the Capitol under the scrutiny of others. And he's the first person who's taking up this mantle after Seneca died.
Yep. And I love the way that he pitches it to Snow. He's like, you know, the rebellion, the strong, like her image. And he's like, nah, we got moves and counter moves. Let's ruin her image, right? Let's make sure the public knows that she's one of us, you know, shut down the markets, increase the floggings, and then broadcast the wedding. Like wedding, cake, who's going to be there? Floggings, death, markets in fire. And he's saying that like the public will hate her so much that they might even kill her for us, trying to really like ruin this image.
And keep our hands clean, because she's going to come across as she doesn't care about us anymore. She's off with her winnings on her tour in the Capitol, getting married, being ostentatious with everything. And she can't relate to us anymore. That was the goal. That was the hope.
Yep, that was the hope. But now we have ended the first half of the movie. I swear to God, it's like an hour 12 where we're on our tour. It's so fast. But like, so by the time she's in the arena, it's been an hour 12. We're almost there now. Our traveling is finished. We're back in District 12. We're hugging Gail. We're having the we need to leave conversation. We're having the do you love me conversation. Okay.
He's so dumb. I just can't get over how dumb boys are.
It's like, really, Gail? Now? You're going to do this now? Really? And she says that.
Yeah, well, and not only are you going to do that, like, all eyes are watching.
Yeah.
So like, even if they did, let's entertain that idea for a hot second. Where? There are Jabberjays everywhere. There are military that are infiltrating these districts because people, you know, it's the fear. If you're not going to conform, if you're not going to listen, we're going to invoke fear through military means by the government. So, I mean, you see it when, I was going to say Liam, Gale is getting whipped because he tried to interrupt, you know, another thing that the government had stepped in on. And the government didn't even care. They were ready to to throw Katniss to everything. And then Haymitch. And then Peeta. And Haymitch, bless him, has the wherewithal to say, look, you're new here. Do you really want 3 dead victors of the Hunger Games on your hands when we need to go ahead and go to the third quarter quill?
And President Snow saw that and said, you know what? I do want 3 dead victors. How can I make that happen? How can I make that happen, Plutarch? And Plutarch is like, I don't know. Let me make something up. We call that a wrinkle. Let me make something up. And then the wrinkle that Plutarch makes up is that at this quarter quell, all of the tributes will be reaped from the previous victors. And that is how you eliminate an entire, they're calling them species here, of people, how you eliminate the victors out of society. And it would work. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. I do want to bring up that after Liam is whipped very badly, he's taken back to Katniss's house, and Prim and her mom attend to him and give him a snow coat. That's right from the book. I remember that is right from the book. And this is where Prim is like, yo, Katniss, do whatever you have to do. Like, we are with you. We are with you about this, like, about it. But going back to this wrinkle, Katniss running out of the house and going like comatose in the woods for a few hours, legit, totally fine. I understand that.
I didn't see, I was going to say, I didn't see anything wrong. Like, she's still going through, obviously, her PTSD and panic attacks. We know that from the first movie. She thought she had escaped them. And then to be like, I didn't even have a year of like freedom through all of this. So I feel like it was kind of shitty also that Haymitch was like, oh, decided to come now. She was like, everything, the way she reacted is fair. Also, the way everybody is reacting is fair. The weird thing of like everybody's will to live is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a me thing, but it's very much like, y'all really want to live that bad? I would have taken cyanide. I feel like, okay, you could take like cyanide, and instead of doing it outside of the Hunger Games where they could possibly replace you, do it in the games so you don't bring somebody in with you or have them do a switcheroo, and then you don't have to deal with all of that. I don't know.
Survival tips from Jessica Marie at ACOFAE.
No,
just die.
I don't know. You're not going to, but you know what? You're not going to catch me spilling any secrets.
No.
No, I said this in the demon died too. I was like, you're not just die.
Dead lips can't be loose lips.
I don't know.
All these free catchphrases.
All that running to still die.
All that running to still die. ACOFAE Podcast, Jessica Marie.
We're making up merch in this episode.
Amazing. It's really true though. Like,
okay, let's bring it back your knee injury, would you?
No, just die. Like, I can't run. Like, are you kidding? No way.
You can paint your face like Peeta did in the first one.
And just die. Just die of gangrene. And just like rot and die. Okay. Promise me that Peeta lives, not me. Promise me that Peeta lives. Yeah, okay. Katniss kisses Gale. He says we should have left when you said. Why are we dragging this out?
Why is she still kissing him? I'm so over his lips.
They are the driest kisses in the world. They're just like, it's like she's kissing tree bark. It's just nothing.
Meanwhile, there's a Peeta kiss they did a close up on, and there was a stretchy spin.
Just like, hey, about that Peeta, short king. Okay. Pulling it back. After we kiss Gale, ew. We're back at Reaping Day, also ew. And this is where Effie she cracks. This is where Effie starts to lose it. She like does her little hand flip into the bowl. It's only Katniss's name. She's like, ooh. and, you know, it's Katniss. Haymitch's name is called. Peeta volunteers. You know, there's no goodbyes.
Good man, Savannah.
He's a good man, Savannah.
Man. He was so hot. He was just like, he's just so good. I have nothing, no notes. Well, some notes.
No notes.
He's good.
No goodbyes, straight to the train. Effie cracks a bit here. You know, gold tokens were a team, so they know that they can't do this to us. Like, ugh.
We need that backstory between Effie and Haymitch.
Yep, I hope we get it. Because we don't hear. We're at the Capitol, training, victors. I want to point out here that between my last viewing of this movie and now, I have watched all seasons of Reacher. And it is fun to see the siblings here. The guy is Reacher, and he's so little in this role because he's so big in Reacher.
I was gonna say Alan Ritchson. He's so wonderful, and he's like, it's weird to see him in such a nasty role because he's just like a terrible person, obviously here. And he's one of the nicest people I've ever met. So nice. It was just. I was like, you're nothing. And he's huge. Like, he's like 6. He's just like big. He's big.
Yep. Reacher is a very fun, silly show if you are into shit like that. But yes, we're back here in the Hunger Games, and he is here with his sibling. We have Wires. We have Beetee. We have the Morphlings. We have Finnick, who's great at water fighting. That won't be important later. And we have I can't. Who are they in the background that with their tongues cut off? The like servants, the Avocs. Is that who they are?
So they can't talk because Mags's tongue was cut off too.
Yeah, they have a name. I think it's the Avocs. They have a whole fucking plot line that is just cut until I think the next movie or the following movie. I don't know. But they were in the background here and they're just not addressed at all. It was kind of weird. I wonder what it was like being one of those extras. And then we're in the arena entrance, and Jess, do you want a sugar cube?
And again, fair Katniss. For like, no, I'm good, thanks. 1, I don't want to make friends. 2, is that laced? I don't know you. You're right now my enemy. You are my competition. I trust you for shit. So every time there's reluctance that Kat has, I'm like, fair. Who are those people? Like, even when they were on the beach, once they went into the games and they see Joanna, you know, Finnick runs to Joanna and runs to Beetee, and she's, thoughts. We're just going to all trust them all willy-nilly, like we don't know. But like at this point, everybody, you know, flashing forward, everybody's in on it except her to allow for the authentic reactions that we continue to get out of her.
Yeah. So Finnick being like, Joanna, he's like, oh my God, finally my ally is here. I can get some help because Katniss is giving me the shit. She's giving me the stank eye for no reason. She doesn't even know. Joanna, help me.
Yeah, she's like, she has no idea we're actually team her. All of us here.
Yep. Okay. You know, wave, Cinna. We love Cinna. Wave to every, you know, no waving. This is all beneath you. Like, don't crack a smile. Don't do anything. Put your dress on fire again. Woohoo! Stanley Tucci. Ha ha ha. Joanna in the elevator. Let me tell you a fun story very quickly. I was watching this and I was like, God, it's Jenna Malone. And Editor Sam was walking by. I go, Editor Sam, what have we watched recently that I pointed out Jenna Malone was in? And I broke his brain for a second. He like stopped where he was, he like stopped moving and he like froze and he just went through his entire brain. He was like, what was it? What were we watching? Jessica Marie, ACOFAE listeners, it was of course Pride and Prejudice. So Of course. So it was Pride and Prejudice. So seeing her
literally recently, that was we watched that.
Yeah. So seeing her here, Joanna stripping in the elevator, it was like, wow, you really grew up. But it's just wonderful. We love it. Trees.
My mind is shook.
Right. Isn't that so fun?
You know who else was shook? Peeta checking Joanna out in that elevator. He's like trying to look away to be respectful of her Katniss, but then like keeps looking down, and Haymitch is like, Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna. And also, too, like, Haymitch and Joanna have known each other for years at this point, too. So it's not like anything. It's just, it's very fun. It's very fun. We have our training montage. Really, Beetee and Wires show Katniss the force field that clearly just won't be any sort of important later, and how it draws a lot of power and flickers. Mags is just very sweet, you know, fishing hooks or whatever. That leads us to Katniss's big, you know, expose of shooting all of the things. Fun Amazon fact, where were the arrows? There were no arrows on the ground after she finished that. Where did they go? Because she was shooting physical arrows.
What I like about her choices for allies in Catching Fire is she wasn't looking for, you know, everybody was like, oh, go for like the younger ones who have more physicality, this, that, the other thing. And maybe this is me just reaching, is that she's like, I don't need brawn. I can handle that shit on my own. But all the people with the brains in here, they see something and they are an addition to something that I can't bring. So I love that she used them as a resource. Truthfully, I thought she was using Mags at first, like just as a manipulation tactic for Finnick. But then when I realized that Mags was actually bringing something, I go, okay, like that actually makes sense. But I completely forgot that it wasn't a manipulation tactic to bring Finnick onto it. But what did they call?
It could have been, yeah.
They could have been. That's what I would have done, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, what do they say? Like, Nuts and Bolts is their nickname, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's such like a bad nickname." I go, "That is brilliant. They are a duo that brings something to the table and have like this engineering mindset that they're like, work smarter, not harder. If I can." Even with the copper wire, if I can do this from 600 yards away and not get hurt and only have to utilize the resources around me and not my physical strength, easy. See, easy. I would survive with them. Otherwise, I'm taking the cyanide.
We have our individual assessments. Peeta paints a portrait of Rue, very sweet. Katniss also paints a harsh center part, the harshest center part on that dummy and makes it Seneca Crane. Very good stuff. We love that. Very good stuff. Ha 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 ha. Caesar's show. I like Caesar's show. I like this scene because I like the Victors being angry. This is where we have Joanna's like iconic speech, right?
That's so good.
It's so good. I'm angry.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting totally screwed over here.
Yep. It's
fuck
amazing.
This and fuck anybody who has to do with this.
Yep.
Also, timestamp watermark today. So.
Yep. Katniss is in her wedding dress, and Joanna is like, God, really, Katniss, a wedding dress? She's like, Snow made me wear it. He's like, yo, make him pay for it. Katniss is like, bet. Let's do this. She's out there. She's in her dress, whatever, spins, burns away to her Mockingjay dress, you know, arms up. We got the wings. I like how, Caesar is like, is it a bird? Kind of reminds me of. And Katniss is like, it's a Mockingjay about it. And then they pan to Cinna, and Cinna's like, I'm going to die for this. I'm gonna die for this.
I'm so fucked.
I'm gonna die for this. We love that. And he does. Spoiler later. We love it. Jess, what does Peeta say?
You know, we're bummed out that we can't have this wedding, but it really comes down to like, we're even more bummed about the baby.
If it wasn't for the baby, pandemonium.
Because now everybody's like, oh, you let a pregnant woman go into the hunt. How fucking dare you, Capital? Shame on you. You're saying the birth rates are declining, the population is going down, and now you want to send somebody who is having a baby in there? Fuck you. And then it's great because then they like go up and they're like, we're in this together, solidarity. And also Katniss is like, what the fuck? But like, I've learned to go with it when it comes to Peeta, and starts holding the other Victor's hands and showing that they are in unison, that they're going to do this together. And even though they're going to be made enemies, they're in solidarity. And this is already being broadcasted to everyone in Panham, and they have to cut the live feed because it's already going to wreck pandemonium.
Yep. Cuts the show, cut the show, cut the show. And we have Effie. We have Effie presents for the boys. We are a team. You deserved so much better. I am truly sorry. Sobbing. I love this for Effie. Like, obviously, like this whole journey that Effie goes on. But here, like, she just, you just want to be happy for Effie because she tries so hard, and like she's trying so hard here, and it's just, she's just like, you deserve better. It's like, oh my God, Effie, don't, and you're going to make me cry. Yeah.
Her growth, it shows her growth too, that even though, and I know we talked about this in the first one, where everybody in the Capitol acts a certain way, out of survival, really, and the compliance that comes with, surviving, she's seeing a whole, like, because she was removed from that environment to see people as people and not just things. And you can see that growth when it comes to the three of them. And the reminder, which, assuming Haymitch and their backstory.
Remember who the real enemy is. Haymitch, stay alive. Remember our deal. And then we have Katniss and Cinna. She gets her tracker in her arm, and then she is saying goodbye in the tube. That is acting. That is when I am locked in with Jennifer Lawrence. That is when, like, you deserve your Oscar. That is when I get it. I am here with you in this moment.
Those screams are real.
Yeah.
Those screams are real. And she's very consistent with that. And it's also like the government controlling, the government scaring you, the government saying, hey, you watch yourself, because I'm going to come after. I'm going to scare you because I know who and what's important to you. And all I have to do is be in their presence, and they're fucked. So you better stay in line. And that's what that message was and continues to be throughout this movie. Or attempts to try to be.
And she's got to watch Cinna be beaten and then go up in that tube and lock into Arena.
She locks in.
Oh, it's so good. Because Snow's watching. He wants all the victors dead. And Plutarch is like, yo, she's going to go kill all her friends. And everyone's going to be like, we don't want any of this. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The more friends she kills, the more she'll ruin her own image. Don't worry about it. Then we're counting down. Up we go to our arena. And I wrote down the timestamp. It is 1 hour, 23 minutes. We are up in the arena. So then we have an hour and a half to go. This arena, it's island, jungle. This is my hell. I need to tell you this. A hot, humid jungle with monkeys and blood rain is just something that I couldn't do.
Tidal waves?
Couldn't do it. I hate being sweaty. And stuck in that bodysuit, I would rather die. And I think I just might. But
see, my tactic isn't looking so bad.
Right away. Yep. Just die. We're segmented in the water. The cornucopia is in the middle. Finnick is our ally. He's got our gold bracelet. Matt, he's like, Bags found Peeta. I was expecting Peeta to be like, running or whatever. Peeta's drowning. Peeta's dying. I think it's very funny. Jess, as you mentioned earlier, Peeta gets the shit kicked out of him. Every single opportunity in this movie. Can Peeta be hurt here? Yes. All right, let's do that.
How can we get Peeta to hurt?
Yeah, just constantly. But we have our allies. We have Mags, Peeta, Finnick, and Katniss. We go into the jungle. We can't find fresh water. Peeta gets hurt because he machetes himself straight into the force field and electrifies himself. And Finnick does CPR. And this is the moment where Katniss, clocks that she, kind of feels for Peeta. She's like, oh, I have the feelings.
And Finnick clocks this too, because when he's doing the sugar cube dance, he's like, oh, sorry I had to cancel your wedding. And she's all, yeah, really bummed. And he goes, yeah, I'm sure you were.
Super
and this
bummed.
is super bummed. I bet. Like you're so bummed. And then this was the moment where he goes, oh, maybe I read this all wrong. He didn't, but at this point, he's also like, oh, they actually care for each other.
Yeah. And he's like, interesting. Okay. All right.
Because he also, like, again, now talking this out, at this point when they have all concocted their plans together, he didn't know this.
Right. Yeah. So he's like, oh, shit. Okay. Here comes Haymitch's little present. Drink up. It's a spile. I like that. Into the trees. Out comes the water. I wouldn't think of that. I would have died. It is what it is.
But also, what a practical gift, because then it's small. You can use it in your pocket. You could use it as a weapon, and it goes with you wherever you're going to be. I thought that was a really smart gift. I would never have thought of that. Yeah.
Never, ever. Our alarm sounds, 12 chimes, and we have toxic fog. We're running away from the toxic fog. Mags ends up sacrificing herself as we're running away from the toxic fog. We run into the water, which dissolves the toxic fog, which left really bad burns on us. Okay. The arena stuff is very it takes a long time on screen, but talking it out, run, fall, burn, die, water.
It's honestly, that's kind of the order. And it also aligns with where we say, when you have a book 2 travel book, it's not oh my gosh, this is a travel book. Book 2s of confirmed trilogies just tend to be travel books. So this is a reminder that this is book 2 of a travel book. There's a lot of traveling involved, but watching it goes pretty fast.
Yeah. Because also here we are traveling because we have monkeys, and the monkeys are chasing us to the beach. So off we go. We're running. Lots of things have to happen. We're surrounded by monkeys. There's big fangs, shots of the big teeth. Okay. But we're on the beach, and out stumble Joanna, nuts and bolts. And we love that. We should mention that the morphling saves Peeta, and Peeta is like, she sacrificed herself for me. And Katniss is like, why would you think that? And Peeta was like, were you there? It's very funny.
It's so funny, but I'm with Katniss again. She's like, are you sure? Really? I'm as cynical as Katniss. She's like, okay. I think she just happened to be there. And you happen to probably stumble into the bush that she popped out of.
And Peeta's like, okay, bitch. It's very funny. He's like, okay. But again,
I'm with Katniss because I completely forgot about them taking her off. He knows the whole plan. He knows which tributes are there, knowing that she's going to be the one to take them to the revolution. There's a lot of sacrificing here from other people. So in that context, Peeta's like, you don't know that. She definitely was, because by saving me, it in turn saves you. But he can't say that to Katniss. I would very much be like Katniss, though. I think most people would be.
Because Peeta is like, later he's like, Haymitch made me promises too. Come on. But moving on, Peeta, though, with this morphling that sacrificed himself, comforts her. And this is where we get our orange sunrise. You're not alone. It's very sweet. And this is where Katniss is looking at him like, damn, that's what empathy is. Huh. Okay. I need to practice being that more, because she's in survival mode. She doesn't have a lot of room for other feelings. So watching this she was like, wow, I really like him. But then we fish, just lots of close up of eating raw fish,
which is real raw fish.
Raw fish.
That fun fact, Jennifer and Sam had a tough time eating it. Jennifer more than Sam. So what's his face? Peeta. I can't think of his actor name right now. Makes fun, teases Jennifer a lot about it.
Ha. It's very fun. That's very fun.
It's real fish. It's real raw fish. And you could tell it is not sushi grade.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. But back to Nuts, Bolts, and Joanna. This is where she's like, I got them out for you. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you better trust me. This is where we have our tidal wave comes down. Joanna talks about the blood rain. And this is where Wires is talking about TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. And Katniss finally is like, oh, it's a clock. Good for Katniss.
Which also throws me off is when they like figure it out. And then, of course, because the government is watching, they're like, we're going to put you on the spinny cornucopia so you won't know. Here's what I think about you figuring out the clock spins you around.
Okay,
that's just
going to
give you dizzy. Yeah. Okay. Let me look where the tree is. That's midnight. That's 12 o'clock noon. I just have to reorientate myself. So that part really was like, did you think you did something there? I don't think that was what you thought it was going to be. Again, he like Plutarch is part of this.
Right. So he's like, I gotta make it look like I'm trying to do something, but I'm not actually doing nothing.
That was the part I was like, okay. It's like when you get the spins, you readjust and you figure it out.
and as soon as Katniss lands in the water, he stops it. He's like, oh, she's in the water. Okay.
She's probably going to drown. She's going, underwater.
Okay. Before the spinning, Wires is killed because there's an attack. A couple more tributes die.
Careers, yeah.
Yeah, the careers die. And then, Katniss, they're recovering after the spinny water, and Katniss hears Prim calling her. She runs into the forest. Finnick hears Annie. He goes too. Joanna's got to rescue them. There's no one that I love left. Like Snow, she starts yelling. She's like, Snow, you can't put everybody in the arena, which is, you can't put everybody in the arena, Snow. And she's like, I'll go. I have no one that I love left. I love Joanna.
Yeah.
I just love her, especially in this movie.
I don't remember her role in the third book, and I never saw the third movie, so I really don't remember. But this movie, I know it's easy if you're in those circumstances to not trust her, but the second where she was like, you and your wedding dress, and then she said, give him hell, I was like, oh, she's on our side.
Ally. We love it. Okay. Two things are happening concurrently here. Beetee has a plan. What's our plan? We got to leave the beach and let's run a wire from the tree to the water, and then everything will be electrocuted. That's the plan. Meanwhile, Peeta and Katniss are having a moment. They're having a moment. What if we don't kill these people? What if none of us end up shooting first? Peeta, I would have nothing to live for if you died. Okay, whoa. Katniss, you have everything to live for. You wouldn't care if I died. He takes off his gold token. It's Gale.
Ew, and on top of the bad CGI to put those photos in that locket, you had to put Gale?
The big one in the, it's Gale, her mom, and her sister. Like, Peeta, why didn't you just put yourself in there?
Manifest that shit, bro.
For real. Your family needs you. Then we have the I need you. And then we have our nice real kiss. Jess, tell us about it.
Just with them on the beach, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was sweet. They get into it.
There's a little hand. There's a little I was like, get it. His first name is Josh. It's Josh.
That's right. I was like, I knew immediately once you said Josh.
Yeah, it's Josh. Good
for them. But again, still more chemistry than Mr. Aussie boy over here.
Yeah, still more chemistry than Liam. Oh, which is so funny just knowing. Anyway.
I know.
Anyway, our plan. We're all going to the tree. Here we go. We go to the tree. The plan says, girls, go take the wire. Again, everyone's in on it but Katniss. And Katniss is fighting it. And everyone's like, just go.
Just go to the wire.
Just shut up and go. And finally, she does.
Well, I was also going to say, like, you also see Katniss's growth as a person, where when she's trying to concoct the plan of like, I don't want to kill, I don't want to be the first to go. Let's leave them so we don't have to be the ones to hurt other people. I don't want to be a killer. I like these people. We need to, like, I know they're our allies, but I feel like that shows her growth from the first movie too, more so. But again, everybody's in on it. So when she's like, oh, me and Peeta are going to go this way, Finnick can totally protect you. And everyone's like, you made a promise. You said you were going to stay here. Somebody has to stay here. Why do you insist on like going together? Everybody's and meanwhile, more careers come. Joanna is like, I have to make it look like an accident. So she's like, just stay down. So she gets the blood from taking out her tracker. How that happened so fast that Snow didn't realize her tracker was out is crazy.
Yep. We love it. Joanna's all in. It's fantastic. She digs out Katniss's tracker. She knocks her out. Meanwhile, and then like goes and tries to like distract everybody from the attack. Katniss wakes up. She's all groggy. Oh my God. She goes back to the treaty, sees Beetee electrify himself. Flying. He goes flying. But she sees what he was trying to do with the spear and everything. But she starts screaming for Peeta. Peeta's not there. Finnick comes out, absolutely frantic. Katniss, where are you? Where are you? She's like lined up ready to shoot him. Remember who the real enemy is. And she's like, yeah, you're right. Takes the wire, waits for the lightning, ends up shooting her bow and arrow up to the dome and electrifies the dome, and the dome explodes and the arena loses power and everything starts shattering down around Katniss, who is scooped up by that ship, and it's very cinematic. She's like,
I know. To just flop around like that. Good for her.
Yeah, good for her. Good for her.
Get your Oscar, J-Law.
Yeah, for real. She startles awake on the ship, and then she runs into Finnick, Plutarch, and Haymitch, who are like in the main part of the ship. And they're like, okay, look, half the tributes were in on it. Nobody could tell you. It all had to look authentic. Joanna and Peeta, the Capitol got him. It sucks. Like, what are we going to do? And then Katniss then freaks out on Haymitch, like, you're a liar.
And that's also an audio that you hear going around a lot on socials.
Yeah. You're a liar. I like Plutarch. No, listen, this is the revolution and you are the Mockingjay.
When he said, another welcome to the revolution, I was like, fucking hell yeah. Like, I was so excited.
Yep. It's like, bam.
That made me like,
it's like, yes, revolution. Well, I mean, the highest highs, the lowest lows. Right. Revolution. Let's wake up to Gale. Gale is here. You know, it's all right, Catnip. Don't say it. It's the worst. Don't say it, Liam.
Was that the nick? Because that had to have been the nickname in the book. Do you remember?
I do believe it was the nickname in the book.
I was going to say, it feels like such a specific callback to be like a fan service callback, which usually we love when we like the person.
Yeah, we don't like him. We don't like the news he gives us either. The Capitol dropped firebombs and destroyed all of District 12. What are we going to do? I got your family out. We are in District 13. And then and Katniss starts like, she has tears, and then it's just like a steady, like, out on her face as it hardens into resolve for vengeance. Ba-ba-ba-bum. And then there's no end credits or title card. We have just a very elaborate change of the Mockingjay pin into the Mockingjay
position that she was in the dress.
Yeah. And that's the end of the movie. 2.5 hours. Half of it is travel by train. Half of it is travel to Capitol and Arena. It's a lot. It's a lot.
And it's longer than the first one. The first one felt like it flew by, but this one I was like, I still have an hour and a half left.
I know. What are they going to do? Apparently they're going to do a lot. So it's just very interesting. I find all of these things where we are revolutioning against, like a government. It's like, okay. All right. We all read this as kids, huh? And this is where we are. All right. Good to know.
I know. Like, did
clock
we
clock that?
Like, and this was also like, not just what we read. Take the reading out of it, even though we know like reading is inherently political. Watching this, even the people who don't read, how do you watch this and not get the same message?
Yeah.
I feel like we're both like Joanna right now. We're like, we got fucking screwed.
Yeah.
We did the shit we were supposed to do.
Yeah. It is really something. But again, that's why we like rewatching this stuff as adults. That's why we revisit media. That's why we do all of this, because who could have known, you know? Who could have seen? Not us, I guess. You know, what's it like to have hope?
We're too deep into like what we read and what we consume because we're so used to, I'll tell you a conversation outside of this, but we're so used to vive la resistance, you know?
Yeah, it's tough. Jessica Marie, do you have a favorite part here? Like, what are thoughts?
I feel like the whole thing is just vibes. I think that was a big thing. And I think the second I leaned into putting the correlation that we have with our second book travel book into, that's right, this is the second book travel book, into a movie, I was able to kind of let go a little bit and take it as it was. I don't know if I had a favorite part. It was just all vibes. What about you?
It's all vibes. It's all vibes. I like little parts, like the moment with Prim where she says like, we're all with you. Little shots of things, like when they're in the train and the Mockingjay symbol goes by and she's like, what is that? Did you see that? Like little stuff. Just like in the first Hunger Games, one of my favorite moments is when she changes the screen in her room to like the woods, just like little quiet moments. I like that. There just isn't a lot of that here. This, again, we're moving all of the time. Everything is very serious. I think one of my absolute favorite moments, though, if I have to like really pinpoint it, would be, when Effie is giving the tokens, because that's just like really, really special. And just a beautiful moment, especially knowing that Elizabeth Banks really fought for that role and she was a huge fan and really brought a lot of herself to Effie. So that was really lovely.
Do you know who else really wanted a role but didn't get casted? Who was supposed to be Joanna was, I was going to say Kirsten Dunst, Kristen Bell.
Really?
She's a huge, I was like one of those facts. I think I saw it on like the Amazon facts that she loved the series and really wanted Joanna's role.
Wow. Yeah. I did not know that. Thank you for that fun fact, Jessica Marie.
You're welcome. Yeah, the small moments you're really good at picking up on. And they're so specific. Like, do you remember the third book? Do you remember the third movie? I don't remember. I didn't see the third movie.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I feel like there's probably more because we're revisiting these as movies and not necessarily the books. So obviously like the book outline is there, but there were significant things in the books that don't make it into the movies. Like you were talking about the people who just have the helmets on. So.
Right. And also, Jess, you have a lot of really bad CGI to look forward to. Because I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened between Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, and 20, whenever the next one came out. But hot damn.
I do. It's crazy when that happens because you're like, why are we regressing?
Yeah.
I know, but this goes on to our separate conversations outside of the podcast where we're like, we know what could be. We know the technology and the capabilities. So why is that still not happening?
Yeah, it can be done. Why isn't it being done? Super fun. And, with the mentioning of Haymitch's prequel coming out, and we had the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the book and movie. I recently saw the movie. It slaps. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Especially if you didn't read the book, right?
Yeah.
I know friend of show, Becky, has read the book.
Yeah.
But she hadn't seen the movie.
No complaints on the movie. The movie was really good. So I enjoy the Hunger Games universe for what it is. And I am happy to be back into a setting where I know that the revolution is successful. Because you know what? I want to know the ending.
I mean, I think how do you wrap it? That's really where we're at right now. With that being said, feel free to follow us on Instagram. We're at ACOFAE Podcast. You can also find us on TikTok, ACOFAE Laura and ACOFAE Jessica. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.